it's a real positive, Tom, because it's well known what the England C team does for young aspiring footballers in the country, and to have taken that away would have been very cruel and would have disheartened a lot of young players.
And I know that the training camp has just taken place recently at Warwick University. What was it like, and what was it like to see the new talent being out on the training pitch?
It was fantastic. 22 young players gathered, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Wonderful. I mean, the irony of it all is we use, the England C have got a reduced budget now, and we obviously would have preferred to have used St George's, but we couldn't afford that, so we went to Warwick University, which is an outstanding facility. We had outstanding accommodation, and the surfaces of the training areas were absolutely wonderful. And of course, we were blessed. We had good weather, and the players really responded magnificently. And a very, very technical group of young players.
And looking at some of the new call-ups, in terms of your decision, was it a case that you've been scouting them for a couple of months and then you've been able to give them that opportunity? Yeah,
I mean, it's we like to, we assess when we go and watch players on a regular basis around the country. And I've got an army of scouts out there, but it's not the same. We like to work on obviously the technical. We like to assess the technical side of the players, but also when you've got them for 3 days together as a group, you can also assess their mental strengths and their social strengths as well. So you get a much bigger and stronger picture of the actual individual. So it is a wonderful opportunity, and there's a wonderful opportunity for those lads as well, and they all grasp the opportunity.
And in terms of the upcoming fixtures, I know the International Cup is back on the agenda, and I know before when you've spoken about how important that cup is. It must be great to be back a part of it.
Yeah, we're thrilled. We really are thrilled by it, and we're just waiting confirmation now of our first fixture, which we expect to be November the 17th. It's going to be one group, and we've got Ukraine in it, Estonia in it, Norway and Slovakia, and ourselves. So a really interesting, powerful group. I mean, to think that the lads are going to be performing against those countries. I mean, Norway are past winners of the championship. Ukraine, travelling to Ukraine, or maybe not. It could be a home fixture. We don't know yet. But to think that we're going to play opposition there. We played opposition in Russia before, but the Ukraine are a new one. We've met Slovakia before. We narrowly lost to them in the last championship, 1-0 in Slovakia. And then we've got Estonia, who we recently played up in Halifax and beat them. So it's an interesting group, and very, very challenging, and presenting lots of new opportunities, and allows the players to face different styles of football.
And I know, speaking to a couple of non-league players who are trying to get a call up to England, obviously it's that pull of being able to play for England which makes so many people want to play for England. And obviously you'll have seen that determination in the training sessions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what we do when the lads, I mean, look, when they arrive with the England setup, we like to let them relax. When they're playing for their clubs, the managers and the players are under pressure to get 3 points, and that means whatever it takes. And sometimes, I'm not saying in all cases, but in sometimes the players are restricted in what they can and on what they can't do on the pitch. Where when they come with us, we like to give them freedom of expression as well as the honour of wearing an England shirt. Obviously, on match days, we have a strategy against opposition, but in the main, players are allowed to express themselves. So it's it's a double winner for them. They're playing for their country, but also being able to completely express themselves.
And coming up is non-league day, an opportunity for non-league sides to get that bit more exposure. I know you're someone who loves non-league football. Just how important do you think the day is?
It's a great concept. I mean, it's been running a while now, and yes, it's non-league is getting more and more spectators. I mean, the gates are growing. I mean, one of my local clubs, Boreham Wood. I mean, obviously getting promotion into the National League has doubled and sometimes quadrupled their crowds. So non-league football is growing, and it'll be a wonderful weekend.
And looking then back at England C, just what do you think the aim should be for the upcoming games? Is it a case just to be competitive on the field and really to give these new lads a chance to really find their feet with the side?
Well, obviously we're in a competition, and I've always had the philosophy that there's no point in entering something if you're not going to try and win it. So, we're going to obviously present an opportunity for these players to experience, the international scene. But, we're going to go and try and win it. And obviously, because of the reduced budget that we're on, that sort of spurred me on even more. When we recently played Ireland in Galway, that came just after we'd been given the go ahead to continue possibly for a couple of years, and so we went into that game against Ireland. We weren't expected to win that game because the Irish side was made up of players who belonged to Championship and Premiership English clubs, and we beat them in Galway. And 4 days later, the Irish team came over and played the England full under-21 side, and the England under-21s could only manage beating them 3-1, and we beat them 2-1 on Irish soil. So it gave us a great feeling, and obviously now that we haven't got the resources that we once had, financial resources, it's made me more determined than ever to try and squeeze every last bit out of what we've got and out of the players that we've got.
And obviously a player that a lot of the non-league England C internationals must be looking up to is Jamie Vardy and his rise through the leagues and then getting into the national team as well. Yeah,
an absolutely incredible story. Jamie's done exceptionally well. He was just not quite on the scene when he was just of that age, because he's not a youngster, James, so he just missed out on England C. But he was just getting on our radar. But more recently, you've also got the likes of Andre Gray. 18 months ago was playing for England C and scoring goals for us, and has just recently been transferred something like 8-9 million. So it won't be. I'm confident that it won't be long before we actually get an England C player, representing the full national side, and I'm confident that, and of those 22 lads who were with us the weekend, I'm sure the majority of them have got really bright futures ahead. But what it doesn't mean, because we've still got a month before the fixture, the expected fixture, the door is still wide open for players. So the fact that those 22 players were there doesn't mean that they're going to be in the side. So, but yes, Jamie Vardy, magnificent. Andre Gray, magnificent. But I could give you a list of 200 players now who've come through the England C system and gone on to fantastic things.
Well, Paul, the very best of luck to yourself and to England C. I know I'll be trying to get to a game or two if they're in the Yorkshire area. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, welcome, Tom.